What is good, everyone? My name is OJ, and welcome to the Village of PlayerEssence, where you can get all of your Nintendo Switch gaming news right here, PE Ninjas. Let's go ahead and get right into it. So, analysts have talked to Nintendo about expectations for the Nintendo Switch, the ease of porting third-party games from PC to the Nintendo Switch, third-party games in general, and more. So let's go ahead and get right into this. So the following comes from analyst Hideki Yasuda. Quotations on this one, but this is just paraphrasing. Many investors were anticipating major overseas third-party games to be announced for the Nintendo Switch, but the timing just wasn't right. This was due to E3 being a few months away. NIS hasn't really supported Nintendo platforms before, since their Wii/DS games were buried among other games. NIS didn't really support the Nintendo 3DS due to the unique specifications of the platform. NIS has obviously changed their stance for the Nintendo Switch. Shigeru Miyamoto, and this is a really key part here, says that games developed with PC as a base can be ported to the Nintendo Switch in about 1 year's time. And the Nintendo Switch was revealed to third parties last summer, which means that we can see major third-party games on the Nintendo Switch this fall. So this kind of falls in line with what a lot of people that were saying back pretty much last year and even the year before with Nintendo at E3, where they just really haven't brought much, is because they were really prepping the Nintendo Switch. They were developing all of their in-house first-party games, and then they are going to wait to pretty much show it off once the Switch, the development was done and they knew exactly what the system can do and what the online was going to be like and everything. That's when they showed it up to third-party developers, unlike the Wii U, where it was over a really long period of time, very sketchy as far as how things worked. Even up until launch day, Nintendo still necessarily couldn't provide people with the right information for this system. So they took a different approach with the Nintendo Switch, and I think it was probably a better approach because there was a bunch of third-party games on the Wii U at launch, and none of them did well. So I think it's smart for Nintendo to put out their first-party games, in addition to getting some big Japanese games such as Dragon Ball, such as Tales of, Blaze Blue, in addition to Dragon Quest on the Nintendo Switch first. Those are the type of games that a lot of Nintendo fans are going to gravitate towards and buy the system for. And then at E3, we're probably going to see a lot of announcements for the Nintendo Switch when it comes to Western third-party support. Do I think it's going to be every single Western game out there? No, but as you can see here, they just got the system and just really revealed it last year during the summer. So it takes about a year. So expect those games to be ready in the fall season-ish and announcements like they said here at E3. I do think that we're going to get some pretty shocking announcements here and there from some Western developers, especially if the sales of the Nintendo Switch take off. You're going to see a lot of developers jump on the bandwagon, but it's going to take about a solid year of Nintendo putting out their own titles first to build that install base. But I do think by the fall's time, the install base is going to be at a healthy amount, and third-party developers are going to see it as a somewhat viable platform to put their games out on. So that kind of explains why we haven't seen so many big third-party game announcements, and we've been seeing a lot of Japanese, indie, and of course major first-party announcements from Nintendo. So I do feel those announcements as far as Western third parties are coming. I don't think it's going to be anything like in the massive. It's not going to be like PlayStation 4 type support, but I do feel that we're going to get stuff like Madden, and we could get other games that have been announced so far, maybe some ports that came out earlier in the year, maybe a Resident Evil 7, maybe a Mass Effect Andromeda, maybe some more games depending on how things turn out with the launch and the hype and drive behind the system. All right, moving on to some Shinin news with fast RMX on the Nintendo Switch, running at a smooth and silky 1080p 60 frames per second in the TV mode, even with 4 players. It also will support HD Rumble. All control options are available. Yo, shout outs to Shinin. This is quite an amazing feat with this hardware. So here's some more details on it. Almost doubles the content in Fast Racing Neo, added a lot of new visual effects, many general improvements rebuilt from the ground up, customized controls, event and multiplayer, 1080p 60 frames per second when docked, even when the 4-player multiplayer, 8-player online and local multiplayer. All control options supported. All players need a copy of the game for local multiplayer. HD Rumble is supported, where you can feel the position of which each racer hit you or where you hit something. No specific plans for DLC right at this point. So this is actually really cool. And they added this little bit as well, saying, quotations, "For us, the Nintendo Switch is certainly the coolest gadget Nintendo ever did. When you hold it for the first time in your hands, you are amazed at how perfect everything feels. Everything is so slick and cleverly designed." And I have to 100% agree, based on all the previews and everything we've said. Everyone has said to hold it in your hands, it really will make you a believer. And then when you play it on that TV screen, when you see games like Fast RMX that are really pushing the boundaries for a racing game, it looks freaking awesome. The fact that they're doing 1080p 60 frames per second, even with split screen, just shows that the Nintendo Switch's architecture, the Nintendo Switch's power has come a long way from the Wii U as far as what Nintendo is doing. And this game is just insanely customized and optimized for the Nintendo Switch, but they were able to do it so quickly. The turnaround from Fast Racing Neo is so good, and that bodes very well because these developers know what they're doing on PCs. Lays into what Shigeru Miyamoto was saying, and also what the Nvidia CEO was saying about the Switch as far as porting from PC over to the Nintendo Switch. It doesn't take too much time, and I doubt for some indie developers that it even take a year. I think it would probably take maybe a couple months. Just like most developers, they work off of PC. I don't think it took them very long to really optimize and get everything going on the Switch, or Fast RMX would not be pretty much a launch title. It's pretty much coming out in March, so it's really close to being a launch title. So awesome stuff there. Can't wait to play my copy and play against all of you guys online. Alright, and lastly, we're going to talk about Nintendo's marketing. Are you guys happy? Are you guys happy? No, apparently not, because there's still some people complaining online. But overall, the general consensus about Nintendo's latest commercial, where it's going to actually be a Super Bowl commercial, which aren't really cheap, guys. Those are really expensive. I think $1 million or something like that to run a Super Bowl ad, or something close to that, or maybe even more. I don't know. But either way, it's expensive, and they got a new Super Bowl ad, and they have an extended cut one, and they're both really good. I love the fact that they're pushing. You kind of wake up, you can play Zelda right there in your bed. You can go hook it up to your TV, put it right there. You can go cook something. You can bring it with you. I don't know how many times I've wanted my 3DS to just be able to play it on my TV sometimes, go out, take it on the go, then play it when I'm over in the kitchen, play it when you're in the bathroom. Nintendo's even advertised that, I think, in a Nintendo of Germany advertising. So this campaign is completely different. They're mixing in a lot of young adults, and they're also mixing in party settings, and they're mixing in kids a little bit. Some people were complaining that there's too many kids on the Wii U, so they've really just kind of shortened that down and really made more of young adults. But just the marketing is on point. I do still feel that Zelda is the best marketing that you can have because it's Zelda. So I do feel that Nintendo's launch lineup, believe it or not, is actually even stronger than it was with the Wii U, even with all those 34 games, because of The Legend of Zelda and because of Super Bomberman R. I think those two games right there just kind of take the cake for me and get me more excited to play the Nintendo Switch than the Wii U. But overall, I think this marketing is good. What do you guys think about the Super Bowl commercial, and how do you guys feel overall about Nintendo's marketing? I think it's been a big improvement over the Wii U, but like I said before, I think content matters more than anything, and I think just with this system, Nintendo has a better design, Nintendo has a better philosophy, Nintendo has a sleeker, sexier system, and Nintendo has a bigger and better launch game that just dwarfs anything that the Wii U had. I think there's a lot of things that make up for it, but yes, the marketing is very good. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Alright guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Go ahead and hit that like button if you did like it. Let you know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future, and subscribe to PlayerEssence for more news, reviews, trailers, tips and tricks, and everything in gaming. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys for the next video. Peace.